Welcome to Suburban Death Metal Dad Bonus Tracks, Episode 15, the Unholy Trilogy of Slayer. So, I'm not really going to introduce Slayer and talk about him, as far as history and whatnot. This is basically just a series I want to do. I want to talk about a band that I really like, say 3 of their albums. So, everyone's got their favorite Slayer albums if you're a Slayer fan, and I'm going to show my top 3. So, starting with South of Heaven. So, I actually got this one, I think around 91, 92. I did not get it when it first came out, even though I'd already gotten Rain and Blood earlier, probably in 87. I think probably because I'd maybe seen some reviews for it that weren't that favorable. It's a slow down from Rain and Blood, Tom's singing more melodic, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I just didn't get an interest in picking it up, and I didn't hear any of the songs. Um, until around, like I said, 91, 92. And it's actually a pretty great album. And favorite tracks being Silent Screen. That was my first favorite track. Mandatory Suicide, Spill the Blood. I like the Dissident Aggressor cover they do, originally by Judas Priest. And I never even heard that song by Judas Priest before I heard this. So that's a really cool track. And of course, opening track South of Heaven is also classic. And yeah, it's, a little more melodic, less, in your face aggressive than Rain and Blood, but I think it's still a good album, worth checking out. So, number 2 on the list is going to be Seasons in the Abyss. And I did get this one when it came out, and I probably even saw the video, probably on Headbangers Ball for War Ensemble prior to that, and what a great opening track. I mean, that track is killer. This is Slayer after South of Heaven, going, more in your face, upping, the aggression, and, I think it's a killer album. Songs like Expendable Youth, Dead Skin Mask. But my favorite track on the album is Seasons in the Abyss, the title track. I just think it's totally killer. You have that eerie, clean guitar part, in the beginning, and I'm just a sucker for that. I mean, that's just the stuff that I just really am into, like I mentioned in some previous videos, different bands that have clean guitar parts, acoustic guitar parts, So that's definitely something I'm really, fond of. And just overall, I mean, it's not just that. The whole song is totally killer. And, that's definitely my favorite. And, I think this one has, a decent rating overall, as far as opinions go. And, it's one of my favorites. It's my number 2. And number 1 on the list, no surprise, really, right? Rain and Blood, just what an album. Mostly it's seen as, like the number 1 thrash album of all time. Sometimes there's another one that might overtake it, but it's just start to stop, 28 minutes, some seconds long, I believe, just killer tracks. It's got dynamics, and the production is just, amazing. And when I say dynamics, I mean there's of course the super fast stuff, there's slow stuff, there's mid tempo, and just the playing is, great. The leads are, over the top, and Dave Lombardo's drumming is just, he's one of the best, as far as I would say. That's my opinion. He's one of the best. I think a lot of people have that opinion. He's got tons of different bands he's been in. He's always played amazing, in my opinion. So anyway, Rain and Blood, opening track, Angel of Death, probably one of the best, if not the best, thrash songs of all time. It's definitely in the top 10, probably top 5. And Raining Blood also up there. Great track. Starts out really ominous and just killer track. Other favorites I have: Postmortem, Epidemic, Altar of Sacrifice. I mean, the whole album really is just start to finish. I don't think there's a bad song on the album. I think most people, or a lot of people, agree with that. So yeah, so that's it for this episode. It's just me talking about 3 albums, an Unholy Trilogy. from a band that, you know, I do like, and I'm a big fan of some of these records, you know, at least three. And like I said, not necessarily, and I'll just say pretty much they're not going to be in the recommend series unless maybe after I do that episode. I'm not going to talk about three great albums from a band and have not done their recommends episode, because that's going to be a big part of what I want to talk about. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.